to kick off our first podcast, we have to say one thing: is that we're going to do it in English. While we are all three, we are native Dutch speakers. We're going to do this in English. So probably everyone is going to experience a lot of bad grammar, weird bullshit, because we're going to make up half the words. But we feel we're doing this for our global
a better
friends.
cause.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're gonna translate words from Dutch to English, and
It's going to be damn messy. But we hope
funny.
this is going to be the appeal to our podcast.
Thank you for coming, Joseph.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming to our show.
We're so happy that you're here. Thank you for coming.
Guys, I really appreciate it. So getting to that point, this is our first podcast. And a good question is, why the hell do we want to do a podcast? Because everybody is so damn busy. And my screen actually just went off. That's super cool. I lost everything. It's back on again. Screensavers. So our first podcast, yes, why? So I want to do this for a very long time. I follow a couple of podcasts in mainly from the US, and I always enjoy them. And I had the idea of building this like living room type set in my studio, and then inviting friends, because we all have like very interesting friends from different fields, like we're here now. Obviously, big DJ, number one kickboxing champ. And invite my friends and talk about life. So obviously I didn't do it because life
Maybe it's
crazy.
good to start off like, how did we get to know each other? Because people see us a lot on social media, that we're hanging out, we're playing games, that we're driving cars, that we visit like his fight, and you guys come over to my show one day.
I went to the escape. I went to the escape show.
Yeah, I gotta give it
Bro,
to you.
represent with my whole crew.
Rico was here with the opening of the studio, so it kind of makes even.
Okay, we're good.
No, but I mean, but we have a mutual interest in a lot of things in life. So I think I get the question a lot, like, why do you guys hang out so much, and what is it that connects you?
It's like a weird dynamic because everybody's from such a different field.
Yeah.
Like, what is everybody doing here? Yeah. So I walked in. So we met. How did we meet? On Instagram, probably. We all met on Instagram. I think we just like slid in each other's DMs and.
Yeah, we met through Instagram.
Yeah.
And I think you guys met through Instagram, but I met Nick like a while, like literally a while ago.
Yeah.
Years ago when he was playing, I think you were headlining Dance Valley.
Oh yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
And you went to the movie when I had this huge role.
Yeah, this cameo. Yeah.
The cameo in the movie. We Are Your Friends. That's why I think we know each other for like maybe 6-7 years.
Yeah,
or so.
something like that.
And Joseph, I met through his work, obviously, and his art. I was at the McLaren dealer, and they said to me when I bought a new car.
Now I remember.
And Alexander said, "Did you meet Joseph already?" I said, "Like Joseph who?" Yeah, he's also a friend of Martin Garrix. I've not, I know his work, but I never met him.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's a very cool dude. I'm pretty sure you guys get along very well. So I was like, yeah, let's give his contact, and I'll send him a message. So I think that. So we got like this cool thing going on, and it just comes very naturally. This is not really like a business thing, This is really like personal.
Yeah,
we just hang out. It's just fun.
It's just hanging out, and then so I came here to the studio one day because Nick is obviously very proud of his studio. That's unbelievable, the crazy music studios and great people around here. So I walked in and I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's like a full-blown radio studio, like official radio studio, not little podcast set. And that sparked the idea of like, bro, can we do a podcast here? Because like everything is coming together.
And let's do it all together.
Yeah, that's because we all come from a different background. But yeah, so this setup is usually used for a radio show. That's why, the setup, usually if it's a radio show, the host is on the other side. But we decided to do it like this because it's more of a personal setting.
Yeah.
And it's a different field than radio. So, but yeah.
So,
cool. So
getting to that point, I mean, obviously people have many questions, and it's nice, in further episodes, if we decide to go on with this, because obviously the first
people
one is always exciting, but
exactly.
If you guys like it, let us know, and then it's extra motivation. We want to talk about some current topics, and I think that the main topic has to be the coronavirus going on, because
definitely
it is such a damn crazy time, and nobody has ever experienced anything like this ever. And I think it's good to discuss how everyone is affected by this. And I think also other people want to know because we already speak to each other. We know a bit, but it's interesting and helpful. So maybe it's good to start with Nick and say, how are you affected by this craziness?
Well, I don't think anyone in the world is prepared for something like this. I don't think anyone in the world was, even think of this could be reality. There's a lot of series and movies that talk about this stuff like Contagion or, like those movies where they literally say everything, almost everything that happens in real life right now.
Scary if you look back at the movies and think like it was all there, the blueprint was
distance, there. Keep distance and don't handshake people. And I'm like, what? So, but getting back to work, I mean, I don't think anyone in the world prepared for something like this. And I'm in a really fortunate and lucky position where I feel like I have, at least some backbone going on because I had so many years that I was able to work that much. And, there were fans just going to all the shows worldwide. And so, yeah, I'm lucky that I have some backbone, but seeing how it affects the entire industry, all the festivals, think about not only us artists, but what about food suppliers? What about, suppliers that get the drinks and,
to
build the stages. Backstage people, the promoters, organizers.
It trickles down to like the crazy stuff, like people that are printing the bands that people wear to get into the festival or the tickets, like just the paper printing tickets.
What about the hotels? What do you think about the hotels? People flying in for all the major festivals, the hotels, the city of, for example, this huge festival in Miami, Ultra, where the entire city, Miami, benefits from something
one
like
of the
Ultra.
biggest touristic attractions they have probably is Ultra Music Week or an Art Basel Week as well. It's probably like Ultra in a way.
Yeah.
Like those two biggest things for Miami, making the link to art and
there's so much more going on. Like you just think, oh, it's just the music, but the background of the music, the people that work behind the stage and to keep everything rolling and make sure the show looks great. It's huge. The impact is so much bigger than we expected.
So for you, so what happens when this stuff starts unfolding? Like when do you really notice? You get a call like in what, January? Or?
Well, no, I think in the beginning you see things at the news at the virus that happened in China because that's what they communicated in the first place.
Yeah.
I think Trump even said that the virus in China or the virus of China,
Chinese
worse,
virus,
maybe,
he said,
the Chinese virus. Not sure if that's a smart idea of saying that, but I don't think anyone was prepared that this virus could actually hit everyone. You see things on the news and you think, oh, that's terrible, but it's so far away. And now you realize how all these things can actually touch everyone in the world. Yeah. And I'm shocked that, that this even got to a point where it affects not only a country, not a few countries, but everyone in the entire world. Yeah. And that's the first time that I'm like, wow, okay,
But what happened to you? Because I think it's nice for people that listen to see like how would a DJ be affected. Obviously they can think, but when you told me the first time, you were like ahead of the curve of me because like for us everything was still going. You're like, bro, like this show got canceled, that show got canceled, and
that was crazy.
I remember when we were at the car dealer, we were talking about that. So we got a call in February, I think, that it might be a possibility that my show in Vegas that weekend was not going to go through. And I think that was a moment of time where I told Rico, because he was catching a flight to LA, I think for a movie back then.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not sure if I'm going. And he's like, I'm not sure if I can go either.
Yeah.
But my show in Vegas was still there that weekend. And we're talking
I remember that.
Second or third week of
you
February.
Guys, I'm flying on Thursday, whatever. I'm flying.
But I'm not sure if I'm flying.
Yeah.
So
bro, how are you going to get back if they...
but
if they lock everything
down?
So
what happens if I fly to Vegas and then by the time I get there, that Vegas got closed? That could happen too. And then I'm there and I'm stuck. So, we made the call of like, maybe let's just push the date. And Vegas was completely understanding the situation. They were very cool to us. And they said, we totally understand.
Wow.
But yeah, the next day happened exactly what I thought that would happen. They closed down also Hakkasan, Omnia, and the entire night industry there. So I was really, really lucky that we didn't go.
Stuck there.
Otherwise, we were stuck.
Because I think people have the feeling that I heard some people like making joke, like, "Hey man, like I'm going to Dubai and I don't care if I get stuck there. Cool, man. I don't have to come back. I'm going to stay in Dubai."
Yeah.
But the thing they don't understand, and this actually happened to multiple people. You go to an amazing 5-star hotel in Dubai. You pay, I don't know, let's say a fictitious number, $5,000 to stay there for a week, like the crazy rich guy, and then all of a sudden you're locked down there. So you're going to keep paying $5,000 for a week?
Yeah.
No. So you have to like
How do you do
downgrade,
that?
and then you go to a lesser hotel. Those are full because everybody's downgrading.
Yeah.
Then you end up like you got to rent an apartment. You're in all types of shit you never imagined to be, and the costs are going like crazy because all of a sudden you have to pay $20,000 to stay a month in Dubai.
Yeah,
this stuff
insane.
I'm hearing is
All
happening.
restaurants, everything was closed. So actually, I was in Los Angeles, like literally when everything slowly got locked down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
first
because you still went.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
I,
did
so
go,
I
yeah.
went because I had some appointments. But when I was there, I slowly saw everything shutting down. So first I said, okay, don't get too close to each other. Okay, that's
And I
okay.
still called you
And
like,
then-
bro, like, hey man, you still got to get back. I don't know.
Yeah.
In Holland, it's going like crazy. Like you're in LA. He was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know. And then it started closing.
Yeah, and then people started buying everything. You know, everything. I went into the grocery shop, and everything was empty. It was crazy.
Wow.
Everything
That's
was
straight
empty.
from the movie.
Yeah. So, and then I think like a day or 2 days later, we were literally, I was having an appointment, going for lunch, and I think it was 12:30 in the afternoon, and we just want to walk into the restaurant where we had our appointment, and we were gonna meet, and they said like, no, you can't come in.
Whoa.
So why not? Yeah, we just had a phone call. We got to close.
Yeah.
It was
So-
happening while you were there.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like
so
in
it
front
was
of
like
your
midst
eyes.
of it.
And like, okay, we went next door. No, sorry, we're closed. We just got a call. So it was insane. So everything just got shut down.
So where did you have lunch anyway?
Yeah, what did you do?
So where did you go?
So we
In your
were
hotel?
lucky. Like nearby, there was like one restaurant that had the opportunity to stay open till 6 because it was a family affair or something.
Yeah.
The family
Gathering or
family
whatever.
business, and so they were allowed to be open for a few more hours. So we had
Oh.
lunch, and then afterwards
Wow.
everything
Yeah.
got shut down. 2 days later, I went home.
But many hotels they were shutting
Yeah.
down, and now see the whole hotel shuts
Yeah.
down. So you think you're going to stay
Yeah,
there,
yeah, you
and your
can't.
hotel says, guys, we
No,
have
no.
no more reservations.
Yeah.
There are only 10 people left in the hotel. We're not going to keep the damn hotel open for 10 people. You got to.
But
What?
that was the thing. I was staying in the hotel, and so right after that note in the afternoon, I came back in the hotel. There was a letter. Okay, we're sorry. You can stay in the hotel, but the restaurant for the breakfast and everything is not open anymore. You
Yeah.
can only
You
get
do.
your room service.
Wow.
Wow.
But when getting room service, you even get charged extra.
Oh,
So you had no
It
choice.
feels like a
Yeah,
scam.
yeah, so-
you pay like $15 to get it to your room. and you don't even have the choice.
That was crazy.
I mean,
insane.
I feel like you need to be Joseph Klibansky in order to maintain that lifestyle.
You're gonna be in the arm, man.
So, and then, but everything.
Man,
so
man,
next
man,
to that,
man.
gyms, everything got closed. So
Yeah.
it was crazy. So I only was
Yeah, because
able to,
did you train there?
yeah. So I did train, but only at private gyms. So gyms that were owned by just personal trainers and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
They were just still in the denial phase, like, hey man, yeah, I'm gonna open up with a couple of people, or were you like the only one training there?
no,
Were there still...
it was just me and
Just-
that guy.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Obviously, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, one-on-one you can do it. as
One on
long
one,
as
you can
keep
do
the
it.
Distance.
Yeah. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Here, guys,
Oh shit!
I lost my height. How are we gonna get this chair off? I'm too excited.
Really?
On the
Bro.
side.
So for the people that are not looking at the feed, my foot touched the automatic chair and I dropped all the way to the level where I belong. See, this is actually Nick's chair, and he's now struggling to keep it going.
There you go.
Good, we're good. I'm gonna just stay off all these buttons. Okay, so I'm trying to push my buttons. Yeah, what I want to say
There's two
is that
flippers. One flipper is for down, the other one is for up.
okay, that's it. I'm just not going to touch anything now because I'm going to do the wrong one. Yeah, but I would say for me, we had an amazing month of March.
Yeah, because
so for
in the
you, your
beginning,
bookings are ahead.
in the beginning, you were like, "Oh, it's terrible," but I don't really you know, in my company, I don't really see anything changing just yet, like too much, right?
Yeah, you know, you
In
always
February.
you always think about in a way like how is stuff going to affect me, and my father is a guy that is always looking ahead, and I'm a very super positive guy, and everything is always uplifting, and then. I mean,
Very in the moment.
It can be annoying, but it's also very good to have someone close to you that's always, you know, making you take care of, hey, man. So he told me a couple of years ago, so what if, you know, you don't sell any art for 6 months? I said, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. It's like what does have to happen to the world for you to not sell any art piece?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
if you have no
And now
supplies.
it's like, and then I literally said, like, you have to like shut down the entire world.
Yeah. Yeah.
This shit is happening.
Order supplies of your work. If you don't get any
The bronze.
The bronze and stuff. Yeah, I mean, we can keep going for a while because we always like to have, you know, metal in stock and canvas and stuff. We have it. Obviously, you can run out, but still, if you run out, still we then have, you know, made a lot of paintings and all that stuff.
You can always make plastic paintings too. Or
Yeah,
plastic
man,
art.
I can keep painting on old cars that no one is using anymore. I don't care. It's all about that. But you know, and now we see obviously people cannot really come to the art gallery, like to my studio. So we're
Is that closed now?
we are open, but it's only by appointment. And the people, it's a big space. The gallery is like 300 square meters. The people can walk around and keep distance, but it's only by appointment. So we would never have a crowd of people in. And sometimes we open up the studio when it's not Corona time.
Yeah.
Then everybody can just come and visit.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, it affects it. People say like, "Hey, man, I love that piece," but you know, after Corona, then I'm the first one to come back and look. So and we're like, "What do you mean after Corona?" It's like we're open. You can come. You can check it out. But people are just less in the mood, and obviously, we're not even speaking about the people that are affected, that are sick, or their family is sick, or someone they love is sick. I mean, that changes everything.
Yeah.
You know?
And everybody's so affected with all the things on the side because so we can still do our job. You can make art. You can do it from your house.
Yeah.
You can make music. You can do that from the studio. You can be here all by yourself.
How's
I
that
can
for
train.
you?
I can go outside. I can run. I have my own gym. So,
But can you train with someone? Because usually, if you have your own training schedule. But I'm pretty sure that there's a point that you want to have someone in front of you to train with,
To spar.
Yeah, of course. The physical contact I'm not doing right now.
Yeah.
So literally the sparring, the real fighting that I normally do a few times a week, I took out.
Yeah.
So just to be sure, people say, yeah, but you know you're with this friend, you know this person, but this person maybe be in contact with somebody else, and you don't know what that person does and how many people they see, and that's how people get affected. Exactly.
That's the biggest issue right now that you're pointing out.
Yeah.
It's because I'm talking about a very personal relationship in my like in my neighborhood. I have a family living right next door, and they have 3 kids, 2 hardworking people with their own company. They work in the meat industry, and they're like, okay, all of our kids are allowed to have one friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
They stay in touch with.
Wow.
You can pick if you have a relationship, then it's that person, but only one person.
Oh, wow.
So, but you know, I'm a friend of the family, and they like, okay, Nick, you can hang out with us and have food with us, but we need to make sure that you are not in touch with thousands of people. And what are the rules? Because you know, what I mean? I'm like,
and they have the idea.
I have a responsibility too towards the family because they work in the meat industry. If someone falls off the roster and work get infected, then the company has a huge problem for them. So, you know what I mean? That's why it's a really weird situation because what is good, what's normal,
and
how many people should you be in touch with? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say people have the feeling with us, our type of guys, you know, we're like in big circles and moving in like a popular circles in a way, and that is like. Usually in the normal life, we see a lot of people. We're always in meetings. We're always you're playing. I'm playing. Obviously, DJ said you're training, sparring with many people. So maybe when someone sees us, like, these guys, they see a lot of people. I follow them on Instagram.
Yeah.
They're playing games, video games. They're doing a podcast. But we know from ourselves that we're taking care. We're keeping distance.
Exactly.
We wash our hands. We sanitize. It's not just that we're doing that, but we really wash our hands like 50 times a day and do that stuff. But a family like that invites you in their home, thinks like, I see this guy gaming, and they're like, I see 2 other people next to him, and is he really taking care? It concerns them, obviously.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like we get affected, but financially, like Nick said, we got a backbone to.
We're lucky.
Yeah, we're lucky. We got a certain type of industry where we can make a little more money than the normal people do, but a lot of people just get affected like immediately.
Yeah.
So the job just says, hey, sorry, but
you're done.
We can't have you on the floor right now.
If you're working in a restaurant and they literally close down all the restaurants, you're a waiter, they close it down.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was something I wanted to discuss with you guys, because we're in this blessed position that we've saved some money, and we're in a special position by career choice that we can work from home.
Yeah.
And keep creative and do stuff and train and run and do your things. Obviously, it's different than normal, but for me, and sometimes it's difficult to say, it's a very good productive time. I have very little distractions. I have no dinners, no meetings, and no travels, no jet lags, like you also, And I mean, we all travel the world. So it feels bad when people are suffering and their loved ones are sick and all that stuff. But for me, it's a way to get over my mini burnout I was experiencing just by going full force for 12 years already. And I don't know how you.
But do you guys feel like you're more creative now? Like, you feel like you have more time? You got more time on your hand. You don't get distracted because you're not allowed to see too many people.
Right.
Do you feel like, hey, I'm more creative now, or I'm more rested? And you're also you have experienced anxiety and everything. But do you feel like more relaxed now, or is it?
Yeah, it's that's also a good point. Rico's full of good points. Like, he's coming up with things. I'm like,
he's the man.
I'm gonna need to call him one time a week now.
that's the purpose of this podcast, showing how intelligent Rico is. He's a master, and we also already knew it as friends. But now the world is gonna see this guy.
And don't forget that usually all of us, not only us, but everyone in this industry is affected by their phones so much.
Yeah, man.
You sometimes don't have full attention for conversation.
Bro,
I feel like this is something
phone is
that
killing me, man.
Right. So that's also a positive side. But to get back to Rico's question, I feel a little bit double, because I agree on the time that we have now is really beneficial for working, not being distracted. You got focus. But at the same time, if I'm very honest with myself, I also feel a little bit of stress.
Yeah.
Because people think that we have like unlimited money.
Yeah.
Which is,
it's never true. It's never true.
But I understand where it comes from, because the things that we post and the things that
you buy in McLaren
post,
and all that stuff.
But at the same time, this whole company that we're at has a lot of employees. You have the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people you work with, but we have a lot of people that
high cost structure.
High cost, yeah. I need to make an amount of money in order to only keep in balance. Like, I don't make any profit. That's just cost.
Just to maintain
just the baseline.
Yeah. So right now, I feel on one side I have a lot of time to be creative, but at the same time, my stress levels are a little bit higher, because I feel like, I need to keep the ball rolling somehow. So I'm trying to find ways to
be creative in business in a way, and managing your costs.
And that takes away energy for being productive in the studio.
Yeah.
Because therefore, I need to have a clear head.
Yeah.
I need to have no thoughts, because then inspiration can flow.
You have to be stress-free in a way to make beautiful art.
So now I have But now I have a lot of time on my hand, but that time is being sucked up basically
by thoughts of
how do I need to fill the gap,
and how long is this going to take?
Yeah, how long is this going to take?
Because your main income source is obviously touring and playing and being booked by clubs and gigs and shows, right? I mean, maybe many people don't know, but where does the money from a DJ come from? Do they make it from music? Do they make it from playing? Do they like?
So there's a couple of different like money flows. If I say that right,
yeah.
Headphone. As we say in Dutch, we're talking about, you probably know that saying, different windmills.
Mhm.
You know, there's like every windmill generates an income.
Yeah.
We say verschillende molentjes, but in English that's different. So for me, one is 100% is touring. But touring is really expensive too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you need to travel with at least, in my case, between the 4 and 6 people.
Wow.
You need to buy 6 plane tickets. There's always traveling someone business class with me because I want to have someone with me of the team. You never know what's happening.
We don't even think about it. They see you playing. They say like, hey, this is the guy. There's an entire team going. You have to pay tickets and hotels, probably, and food also.
Hey, in my case, Nicky Romero is 6 people.
Yeah.
I am just the face of it.
Yeah.
And I definitely contribute a lot, but there's other people that really contribute as much, but just not as much in the picture.
In the limelight, yeah.
So, you know, it's probably the same for you. It's the same for you. You couldn't
definitely. No,
for
me,
the output.
That's why I said
now.
we. Like people often ask me, like I say, like, yeah, we. Let's say we sold 2 paintings today or whatever. It's like, what do you mean we? You're the artist. You're the guy. It's like, no, because I'm doing it with my family.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it with my crew. And I can't even say I feel like I'm taking away all the credit from people that are working harder than I am because they're going day and night and they want to keep me free to be creative. So they're in a way working harder than I am so that I can have what you're explaining, the peace of mind to create art.
You need,
So it is a team effort. And for Rico, I know I've seen behind the scenes the guys supporting you and your trainers and Dennis and Kareem, and it's like,
it's exactly the same. You know, it's like a whole team behind you. But like you said, you're the face. It's with you the same. You're the face of the brand. But behind you are so many people working just as hard as you are doing because we all need to push the same train and we all need to push the brand and we want to go there. But the brand needs a face and we are the face. Like people say, okay, but you're doing a sport that you do individually. You're in the ring. And you have to do what you have to do. And that's it. So, but...
In order to get there.
In order to get there, to be in the shape that I'm in when I'm at that point, I got a whole team every day running and getting me in shape, calling me, making my food, whatever, making sure physically I'm okay. So
doctor checking your blood work,
maybe mental vitamins. People that help you mentally to stay fresh.
Yeah. But there's so much more people involved than the main people know. They think like, okay, that's what you do, and that's what's going on. But
I get so like much shit for this, you guys. You won't imagine like the vision people have from an artist is like a guy that's sitting at home or in their shed with like an easel. They put their canvas on and they paint, and that's an artist. and then they see my Instagram, and I'm very open about it. Like, hey, I work with my team. We're grinding. We're working on metal and on the sculpture, and they're like, yeah, this commercial guy, this asshole, is not doing anything himself. Everything is done by others. He's just sitting back. It's like, are you crazy? It's like, do you understand that all the other 99.99% of the artists, when they make a certain design, that they give it to a foundry that does their bronze and then they pick it up. Like we have our own foundry. We are on top of it every day. I'm busy with every detail of the piece, of the death, but I cannot hold 10 welding torches at the same time to work on an exhibition.
Okay, but let's look at it like very basic. Like you're explaining this now and I fully understand, but I look at the other side when we watch movies or watch TV and you, for example, see a painting of Vincent.
Yeah.
And then it gets sold for millions, crazy,
100 million,
20 or 50 or whatever amount of millions. But that's exactly what they have in mind.
Yeah.
A person sitting there, big piece of canvas, painting.
Yeah.
That's the painting. You're gonna sell it, so that's what you do.
Yeah.
But
this is just a lack of knowledge, because there's a book and you can find on the internet. If you go to Rembrandt, they have this vision. Rembrandt had like 16 assistants helping to make a painting. 16. You know what I'm saying? Like all these guys that were doing these amazing like chapels, they got a commission to do the ceiling of a beautiful church or somewhere else. They had like 20 or 30 assistants helping them paint the ceiling. It's like, it's his name. No, it was never like that. There are a couple, but every artist of any skill, of the skill, what you're doing in kickboxing or what you're doing in music, if you reach this skill, you need help.
Exactly. Yeah.
The art is still from the artist. You need help with the physical production. It's never been
sometimes
different.
it begins with one person being really good at something, and then you build and build.
I started
and build.
alone,
Same as for me. I think same as for Rico. You just start. I notice we have a guy signed to the label, and I recently, let's say like 3 years ago, I found out, which was really stupid of me. His name is Florian Picasso.
Yeah. And I've heard of him.
And I was one of the first to release his songs. And then I found out after a while, he's like, dude, come over to my house in Switzerland.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I was there. Sure, I'll come over. A huge house. I'm not talking about
crazy mansion.
I'm talking about a mansion. Like it's just, it's humongous.
It's like when you see a mansion, then then that will be the garage of this mansion.
It's like only the cars are there.
Only the cars.
So, and then suddenly something clicked, and I walked into his one of the living rooms of his family, and I saw paintings everywhere. And then it clicked. Obviously, he's the grandson of Picasso.
Yeah.
And I never knew about this. So I asked him, I said, I apologize. I never knew, I just thought it was a cool name for him, Picasso.
Yeah, it's like a stage name.
And then he told me a funny story regarding this. He's like, so people have a really hard time judging if art is really worth the money.
Yeah.
He said, you know what my grandfather used to say? When he used to do paintings, he used to go to like a certain store where they sold coffee. And he was just sitting there like a cafe. And he was just drawing on the back of a paper.
Yeah. Or a napkin or whatever.
He was just drawing. And within 5 minutes, he made something really cool. And he looked at it and he's like, nah. And he wanted to throw it away, and he grabbed his coffee and he wanted to run. This little woman in the corner saw that, and she asked, she didn't recognize the guy. She just liked what he painted on the back of the napkin. And she's like, can I have that? And he's like, sure you can. It's 15 grand.
Yeah.
And she's like, what are you talking about? You just drew that on the back of a napkin. You were going to throw it away.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but you have no idea how much time it took for me in order to get to a level that I can do this on the back of a napkin.
Yeah.
So
I spent 20 years getting to the point to make this drawing that you like.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So if you like it, I'm happy to give it to you. 15 grand. Otherwise, I rip it apart.
Yeah.
And he did that.
And it's crazy. And people like, it's like crazy, not fair. Right? You're going to throw it out anyhow. Blah,
and
blah,
she
blah.
did not understand. But this is a really cool metaphor because it really says something about when is art worth the money.
Yeah.
You don't have to look at the actual thing, but you should also look about the amount of time it takes to get to a moment and to a place where you can create something like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think we all are right now. Is we're all in a position that we're in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And we chose for that position. But people see us now. They see all the nice stuff. But before we got here, we worked really hard to get into the spotlight and to make the type of money we make and to do the things that we do now. But I remember I've been through some rough times.
Yeah.
I literally had to fight to make some money and do this and do that and be a bouncer and whatever. But it was all worth it because now we're here. It's all worth the sacrifice.
Can you imagine you go to a club and you fuck someone up and then Rico is the bouncer? You're like, fuck, that's the worst day of my life.
God damn it, man. Why didn't I go next door? My girl told me to go to the other place.
Why did I not go to the other place?
Yeah, but it's true, and especially what you say, and it's obviously good that you say it. Like, I have stress about the financial situation and how long can we keep this up and how long does it go? I mean, I can make art and sell art, and obviously as not the artist, but as the business side, you think about, hey, how can we like scale down? How can I have maybe less rent and less staff and less stuff? But you work with people you love and people that helped and built you. And obviously there's new stuff and there's old stuff or whatever. But it's a difficult choice. But
I have a question for you actually. Talking about this, if you look back at the little Joseph of 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. before you built the company you have now, and I have the same question for Rico in a bit, so you can think about it right now. You have a little bit of extra time because I'm going to put you on the spot. Were you happier back then with everything that you had and everything that you did not have? If you compare it to now, no houses, no cars, no expensive watches, clothes. Like, are you happier at this moment with everything you have, or were you happier with less back then?
I'm happier now.
And why is that?
And I can tell you why. Is because I always said I want to work to my potential. And that was my own benchmark for success. So my benchmark was never an amount. My benchmark was never, I want to have 10 cars or whatever people want to have, or this mansion. I want to work with my family. That was my number one. And in harmony, obviously. And that's happening. So that makes me the most happy. And I want to have momentum. And the momentum doesn't have to be $1 million or 5 million or 10 million or 100 grand. It doesn't matter the amount. I want to grow and keep growing. And every time it has to be a bit more. And I always wanted to be able to make the art that I had in my head. And it's not so easy as you think, because it's very expensive to make certain sculptures. So back in the day, I started with some paintings, and I love to do that. And then I wanted to do an exhibition and be in a museum. And all of a sudden I had the idea like, oh, I want to be an artist. Some artists do sculptures and paintings, and others only do sculptures, and some only do paintings. But I wanted to do it all. And that was my dream. And I'm doing that now. Obviously, I've had moments that it went too far. But this is when you're a young guy and shit moves fast.
Yeah.
And, and then I had like 4 or 5 cars or whatever. And the reason was I loved cars since I was a child. And people think that the love of cars
still
can be
has
shallow.
4 or 5 cars. Let's just not
No,
forget that.
less. But you know what it is? The crazy thing is that people think like some people think you just buy a car because you want to be a cool guy. You want to be cooler than the rest. But if you have a child at a gas station, I've seen it.
He's so happy.
And he's like 4 years old.
Yeah.
And then let's say Toyota drives past. Yeah. So the child doesn't see the car. He's just there. He's waiting. He's playing or whatever. But then when a Ferrari comes past, he's jumping all up and down.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what it does to his status. He doesn't know what money is. He doesn't know what a euro or dollar is worth. So he's excited because he sees the sound is different.
You get excited from his excitement.
The point I want to make is that if you have a certain love for cars, it can be really genuine, And I always had that. And so then I started collecting some cars, but I came to a point that it was too much. I said, like, I'm not driving them. What am I doing? It's costing a lot of money. And I went too far. And I think for young guys like us,
smart to say.
Yeah, for young guys like us, you go. You.
But are you happier now because of the things that you own? To scale back the question,
I've downscaled. So I had that point that I was less happy.
For 10 Ferraris.
No, bro. What I want to say is I came to the point that I was less happy.
I'm messing with you. Yeah. I'm just trying to.
So I already went down from that.
Yeah.
So now I'm at a better place than I was, let's say, 2 years ago.
Yeah, I have exactly the same.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You just get rid of some shit, and you find a house where you're happy.
Yeah.
And I know you guys both have a house where you're really happy.
Yeah.
And that is wow. And then if you have a nice car, life is amazing. You don't need 10. You don't need all the watches.
But are you really happier with the things that you own now comparing to 15 years ago when you did not have any of those cars? I'm trying to get to the question where how far does materialism make you a happier person? Because if I refer back to my own, when I bought my first, was like we call this a derby, like a brommer, like a moped. Like a mini motor, scooter motor, but then with a chain. And I was driving it when I bought that first derby, as we say. That was the happiest moment of my life.
Yeah.
I cannot even compare to buying a McLaren now.
No.
Even though I'm really happy, the moments then are like value me much more for some reason.
I had this with a certain car as well.
Yeah, I have the same thing, but I think I can say I'm happier now than I was back then. But it's not that money doesn't give you happiness, but it makes life so much easier. Yeah. Because I've seen my father struggle. He made some life choices, for example, to buy a house, but he was making enough money to buy it, but he needed to keep up a certain pace.
Yeah.
But if something went wrong, you'd be in a fucking chokehold.
Yeah.
So
There's no margin for error.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what I felt when moving out of the house, every time, hey Dad, how you doing? Yeah, always a money thing,
Yeah.
And it was always the money thing, always the money, the money, and
that really shapes you as a person. Also, I think.
So I really felt like, this really turns you into a negative type of person.
Yeah.
And but on the other side, it made me like really positive, always being like, hey, I need to go there, I need to work hard and just keep grinding, and always trying to make steps forward. Even if I fall forward. I don't fall over, I fall forward.
That's a really brave saying it. That's a really cool metaphor.
And just learn from that experience and keep going. So that's what worked for me. And in life, I just put like certain dreams. When I have a dream, I just say it out loud.
Yeah. You have the
I
courage
don't
to
even
say
care.
because you're not afraid that it won't happen and people laugh at you or whatever.
I was like 16, 17 years old. People ask me, Rico, what do you want to do? What do you want to become? Kickboxing world champion.
Yeah.
And there he is.
Then they tap me on the shoulder like,
well done.
Yeah, man.
like probably you when you were like,
yeah.
No, they're gonna say,
I want to be DJ.
they're like, sure,
Good
bro.
luck.
Everyone is a DJ these days. So what are you gonna do? Yeah.
So,
Sure.
yeah.
But for me, nobody had to believe that. Nobody
Because
had to
you
believe
believed
that
it. Because you believed
I
it.
was the one that I needed to put in the work,
Yeah.
and that's it. Nobody had to believe me because I knew I was the guy that needed to put in the work to get to that point, to become the kickboxing world champion. And then finally you're there and you just start pushing. I'm always pushing the boundaries, always. Like, hey, at a certain point, I said, I'm going to buy this house. The funny thing was, I said that before I became champion. So the first time, when I became champion was the first time I made some money. I was always struggling. The first time I made some money, I said, I'm going to buy this house.
Yeah, you told me that story. You were walking by a lot of times and you always said, I'm going to buy that house one day. One day I'm going to have it.
So,
you told me that story.
Yeah, so I made the first time I made some money, but still I couldn't buy the house. It was too expensive. But I had that in my mind and I said it a lot. I'm going to buy that house one day because it sets a goal for me to keep working hard every day.
You have a goal. You have a goal,
putting in the work. It doesn't matter how successful you are, you're still pushing it because you want to get to a certain point. And finally I did. And those things make me happy every day when I go outside or I come from the gym, drive to the house, I watch the house. I did it.
Yeah.
It's just certain thing, but the same with kickboxing too. Yeah, what's funny is like this week is like since a long time I watched the fight the first time I became champion.
Wow.
And just again gives me goosebumps because
against what opponent was that?
Daniel Guida.
Oh yeah.
So it was a tournament. First I beat Gökhan Saki and then afterwards Daniel Guida all in one night. And the feeling that goes through your body, then because that moment literally my life changed like totally. Finally I had some money in the bank. I just can go to an electronics store and I bought a
PlayStation,
a huge ass TV, a PlayStation, and an iMac.
It feels so good, man.
So and then without being like, oh shit, I gotta watch the money because maybe I won't have enough to finish the month. So that was amazing. So with that feeling in my mind, I'm happier than I was back then.
Yeah,
but it also
originates from a different perspective because like what you're explaining about your dad when you were younger, that shaped because I was in a really lucky position that I didn't know that problem back then and my parents didn't know that problem either, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know.
But I had more of what Rico had.
So I can understand why, because I've never had experienced something like money problems with my parents when I was younger. I certainly did not get anything more than the usual guy because we were a very normal in-between neutral family, I believe. But really not known any problems. So I can imagine how that impacts
It does.
how
man.
you look towards the situation now.
Yeah.
Because if I look back at myself, to be really honest, I'm really happy now with everything that happens, but more with everything that happens than with everything that I possess. So it's
Yeah,
not like because I own a lot of stuff, I'm happier, you know?
But I have to say that, and I've thought about it in this Corona time. I'm so happy with the house I have. I have a garden.
That's
I can
true.
walk in the garden. I
that's
can
true.
sit there in the sun. And
That's very
And
true.
before that, I was living in the city, and I couldn't even imagine. And we have that's also something I want to ask you about the lockdown situation. Is like we have got this soft lockdown. Like we can go on the street.
Yeah.
We can drive here.
Yeah.
Like in Italy and in other places, I don't know where, but in Italy, they can't leave the
fine.
house. You have to go to the supermarket that is closest to you within 500 meters, or you have to have a damn good reason with a paper
Travel,
showing you where you
yeah.
want to go. So our lockdown is like, but if we would have a full lockdown, I still have my house, my garden, my stuff.
Yeah.
I just bought it like a year ago, and I'm like, I have this because we did something right, and my brother is the same, and his wife, and my parents have the same. It's like gives me
leuke
pride to
position.
see the whole family is doing well. And they're like, yeah, I'm happier. And you know,
I think it's what Rico said. It makes life easier also because
why, this is a good discussion. Why can't people say it makes me happier? Everybody wants to say it doesn't make me happier, but it makes me easier. But like a lot of happiness comes when life is easy. And obviously there is a balance, but when you don't have to stress about things, you know, can you then say, yeah, it makes me easier because I have the money? No, I'm actually a lot happier.
No, but
I'm not stressing.
That's a good situation. That's
Just
a really
as a
good
discussion, you know.
But
People
listen
are tiptoeing around this stuff.
No, it's true.
always.
But listen to the song "More Money, More Problems."
Yeah.
So I'm.
It's a balance thing.
It's a balance thing. I believe the ones that have, talking about money, the ones that make a decent amount of money and maybe a little bit extra are the ones that have the best balance between, you know, can buy a little bit more than they can leave and do a little bit more than
The norm.
the norm. But at the same time, they don't have the stress of owning a lot, because owning a lot also reverts back to another problem, which is you're going to attract the wrong people in your life. You're going to have to secure everything.
Yeah.
You're gonna pull people that are just want to hang out with you because of what you own. And then you create so that's why I'm saying money, there's not always, because I know a lot of people that have a lot of money, and I'm pretty sure that so do you guys, but they're not always
Not happy. Yeah.
the happiest
But
ones.
the real question is,
no, but that means,
what type of person is that?
no, but I know there's,
Rico's such a positive guy, and that's why when he is in the situation, you know, he can cope with it in a way. Like people want something from him, people blah 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 blah. But it's all fine because you have the mindset to deal with that type of shit as well.
But I'm talking like if you go to Dubai, and I met this guy in Dubai or in Abu Dhabi, I know someone that he is like a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
And he has no value he has no idea of value for things anymore.
So it destroys.
So money can, in that
happiness,
case, also really destroy happiness. That's why I think that there is a balance where you hit the threshold of being really happy with what you
It's
have.
like a comfort level.
Exactly, a comfort level.
Yeah.
So it's
But also, what I
Yeah.
also feel is that now is during like this whole lockdown period that everybody's going through, is your whole values and the things that you appreciate shift from one side to the other side. Because now what I feel is like I got way more time for family and friends than I normally have.
Yeah.
And it filters out friends. For me, I don't want to hurt anyone, but it also
You just
filters
did, bro.
out the
You
ones.
just did.
No, but the ones that really
Give
matter.
us some names, man.
Because sometimes no, but I'm trying to hold up, like as we say in English, we proberen ballen hoog te houden, which means
Keeping
like we
all
try
the-
to.
You're spinning all the plates. It's called a thing in
spinning all
English.
the plates.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm trying to be nice to everyone, but this also kind of filters out who is really important in your life.
Yeah.
Who is you're gonna have to, you forcibly have to make a decision about who are you gonna see in your life and who you're not gonna see.
Yeah.
So it also filters out a lot of people that actually jumped on the car that
you don't even
never
speak to
jumped
people,
off.
and you figure out 2 months later of lockdown, you didn't even care to
You
call
didn't
them
miss
once.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean?
So that also kind of helps you to rebuild your circle of the ones that matter to you the most.
But what's funny is now it's like we're talking about this is, did you guys feel the same thing that during this lockdown, also a lot of people just started send you messages because everybody's on the phone. They have nothing to do. They're at home all day. So I feel like
to be real honest, no, I've got a lot less messages now than in.
You don't have a lot of friends either.
No, so that's
bro. I keep my circle small. I just run with about 2 assholes.
Yeah, no, but
I felt like I got some messages from people like, okay, I haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, same for me. I got at least like 5 or 6 people that sent me out of the blue a message where I had to re-add their phone numbers.
Wow.
Like, wait, who can you help me a little bit? Like, where did we meet?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick, we're the tax department. Save this one.
Yeah.
No, but I see that, but it's very, very double. But I spoke today to someone.
I'm just thinking.
I spoke to someone who said, so I'm not sure who that was. Was it one of you guys? I'm not sure. It was this morning. And no, it was someone else. And they told me, so everyone is used to the 9 to 5 job, like the ones that have a daily job, and they're living towards the weekend.
Yeah.
Everyone is living towards their weekend. And relationships are built on a certain amount of time together in the weekends, but they have their normal jobs in the normal weeks.
Yeah.
So a lot of people now that have normal 9 to 5 jobs and their whole biological clock is set to the weekend. Now that entire clock is gone. It's weekend every day.
Every damn day.
Relationships, they end and there's fights, and then people are more sensitive because their whole clock is gone. It's not just the work, but for a lot of people, weekend is like the holy, like the Holy Bible.
The glue.
They're like, we live for the weekend, literally.
And then we do fun stuff.
Then we do fun stuff, and the rest is just sacrificing. And then I have the weekend again. But now it's like weekend every day. And then they still have to work at home. But so their whole clock and relationship and everything shifts because of what's happening in the world. It's really interesting to think
and it's
about
also
this.
interesting for me to see is that a lot of people fall into this big black hole, or they have the feeling they fall into this. There's nothing to do. We can't go to restaurants. We can't go to the gym. We can't do this. We can't.
Life is over.
They said it's so boring. It's so boring. Like yesterday, it's like boring. I can't wait to go back to normal. I'm like, seriously, I don't know, but I'm good, man.
Yeah, me too.
But it's also what I feel like is it's a form of self-discipline, because there's so much to do. If you want to work, if you want to work out, you can work. Yeah, but I don't feel like working out because I feel tired. I feel energyless, and I say, but if you wanna work out, you can just go outside and work out. It's just a form of self-discipline.
It's called excuseritis.
Yeah, but it's just
people have it for everything.
Yeah, but they feel like
excuseritis disease.
Yeah, we got to be disciplined, and we got to do this, we got to do that, and but that's life.
But okay, this is a good point. This gets me to the question for Joseph.
Well, why are you like sitting all straight up again?
Yeah, this is gonna be all right.
This is gonna be a scary
one.
one. Maybe I must drop my chair again.
How many times do you train per week,
bro? I think my mic stopped working, bro. Listen, so tunnel. Can we get a coffee?
No, but he threw up the subject, so it's just me taking the subject, applying it on you.
So obviously we cannot go to the gym, and I have dumbbells at home.
Oh yeah.
Amazing, yes. And I have dumbbells, 10 kilograms per hand, and I do everything with these dumbbells. So I work out now 4 times a week at home, but it's not a crazy workout. So I do 3 sets of push-ups, and then I do Rico.
I'm good.
Yo, you know that your girlfriend can watch this too, right? So she can either...
Bro, we're going to just block one IP address. We're going to block exactly one IP address.
She can verify if this is true or not.
I'm expecting seeing her in the comment section.
Our next guest on the show will be Victoria, and she'll be talking about this subject with us.
Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm doing my 3 sets of push-ups, because obviously it's good to show everyone what they can do at home during Corona time. And I'm the best guy to tell them, not Rico, obviously. No, so I do my push-ups, then I do my biceps in 2 different ways. And then now I do another little exercise. I think you showed me. I'm pulling backwards.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
That's
that one.
Rose.
So you're telling me it's for
Rose.
your back? Is it for your back?
Yeah.
Or for your tricep as well?
No. Yeah, it's
If you're just going up
You
like
bend
that.
over and you on a bench. You do like this. That's for your for your back.
Relax, bro, with that bend over stuff. Yeah.
Relax, Nick.
Just say lean on the bench. Don't say bend over.
yeah, bend. You bend over like this, and then
Or you're talking about the guy bend over.
Saved by the bell.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that
so-
was my
but,
exercise.
all right. So, but let's get back to the topic because
Yeah.
what I'm really interested in is that how long is this gonna
Last.
keep going? Yeah, how long is this gonna last? And what's gonna happen when it's? What are you guys gonna do when it is over?
What's the first thing we're gonna do?
Yeah, what's the first thing you're gonna do? Because now we got like a soft lockdown, so
Yeah.
we're still pretty okay, but it's a lot of things we cannot do. So let's first get to the part like how long do we think is gonna last, and then what are you gonna do when it's done?
Yeah. How long? I think that April and May will be closed. This is 2 months.
For the Netherlands or for the world?
No, for the Netherlands. This is for the Netherlands. I think the 1st of June, restaurants will open again. That's what I think. In 2 months' time, it feels a bit long even. Now, if I see how long we're in it now, and obviously we're expecting like the flattening of the curve with coronavirus infected people and stuff. It's not flattening. It's still going up. But obviously when everybody's staying at home, like
I saw
99%
it's
of
going
people.
down though in the last 2 days.
It's going down?
At the moment that this is recorded, I think what I saw yesterday was 900 new cases. The last week on Friday was 1,200 new cases. So that's what I saw. But listen, this is at the point that this was recorded from the sources that I had in the RIVM that we have in the Netherlands.
Because I saw this whole news thing about now they're at like, let's say 1,100 IC beds and they're going to upscale within 6 days, need up to 2,400. So I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But the thing is, okay, so now we're talking like, oh, these cases and these cases, but these cases now happen because it's a lockdown. But what happens when everything opens up again?
Yeah, man. I can't
get a new outbreak or
exactly, but that's and we should actually like have a specialist call in, but we cannot do it now. But we have to like everybody says lockdown, and then we're going to open it up. Yeah. We're going to start mingling. One person gets infected. It's only because of this group's immunity they're talking about, so that already like a certain percentage had it, and they're protecting the rest as a barrier. But not enough people had it to do this.
No, not at all yet.
No. Come on.
But they might have
10,000 infected?
have like a cure back for the situation.
No. There was a pharmacy big company on the news. They got, I think it was a Dutch company or whatever. They got a $1 billion. It was a Dutch company. They got a $1 billion injection from the U.S. government to fast track this vaccine. And they said for like the first release would be December or January.
Yeah.
When they could use it only in emergency cases, not even to vaccinate the whole country.
Yeah.
Emergency cases. Bro, so what are we going to do after lockdown? It's going to go up again? We're going to close again? Yeah, I think they're going to open up some stuff in June because I think their economy is literally going to freaking collapse. Like, how long is everybody going to do this stuff, man?
Something is going to have to happen anytime soon, either way, after May, because you cannot stop the world for an entire year.
Yeah.
That's impossible. We need to find ways.
It's like a whole crazy, and that's exactly what we're talking about because everything is going to collapse.
But then the first thing what we're going to do is like, okay, so let's say we're smart people. They're going to open up in the 1st of June. You can go to a restaurant again. Are you going to be that first person going to sit at your favorite restaurant?
Yeah.
It's going to be like, but I mean, we're talking about Corona time. Like a lot happens. Like a month ago, we're laughing about stuff that's happening now. And so maybe in 2 months time, we have the feeling like, okay, like everything is easing again.
Yeah.
Like the cases drop down to 100 a day.
But what I do think is that because of this lockdown, people are going to be more aware.
Yeah.
And careful with each other, I think.
They're going to be more
Hand
aware of the
sanitizers.
whole situation. So I think, or well, I hope we're not going to get to the lockdown situation again, but then maybe the virus spreads because in the end, probably we're all going to get it one way or the other.
Hopefully
So-
vaccinated.
Yeah.
You know?
But then slowly and then under control. So
Yeah. Guys, so this is definitely something we should keep an eye on, and maybe the next time we do a podcast, we can discuss how everything has evolved.
Yeah. Or for the ones that are watching, if you have any feedback, there's topics,
Yeah.
subjects.
For us to
you
talk
know,
about.
guests,
Logan.
maybe they want to see it. Should we do this more often? How many times?
Yeah.
Is there any feedback? I think.
Let us know. Was
Yeah.
the first time. I think we all enjoyed it, and we can probably do this for 10 hours straight because
Yeah,
it's
there's so much to
natural
talk
for us.
about,
But
yeah.
I think we should wrap them up here and say everyone goodbye.
I want to thank Joseph also for bringing up the idea. I'm not sure if it was Rico and Joseph or Joseph, if it's the two of you.
It's a group effort.
It's a group effort, but I'm happy that you guys, made the first steps because it's really motivating to me.
yeah, most
So,
definitely.
Yeah.
Cool, boys. I love you.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
We're out.
Thanks for
Love you
watching.
guys.
Ciao
Peace out.
tutti.
Peace out.